So let's start this inaugural program of 2016 by maybe going around the table and hearing what various priorities that our panel sees tonight. And we'll invite our viewers, as we do each evening, to call in with your questions or send them to us electronically. The instructions will appear on your screen. I'm sure you'll be able to follow them. Not sure I can, but I'm confident in our viewers, and we'll see that the questions get to our panel as we move along throughout the program. Let's start with you, Representative Murphy. Talk a little bit about how you see this session unfolding and what you see as the priorities.
So, I have been lucky in that I have been talking with Minnesotans, all around the state, and they appreciate very much how important it is that we put together a package on transportation this session. And it's been something that I think Minnesotans have been pushing us to accomplish for 3 or 4 years. So I would put that at the top of the list of priorities this session. And I think the tricky part, of course, is trying to understand how we sustain the funding necessary to pay for an ongoing transportation package that answers both the needs in greater Minnesota, roads and bridges, transit, and the transit needs in the metro area. We'll do a bonding bill. I'm certain about that. I'm really interested to continue the work that we've begun on early learning and voluntary pre-K. I think that's important, and so do I think it's important to think about the other end of higher education, the cost of higher education, and starting to focus more on the debt that families and graduates from college are carrying and what that means for our economy. And last but not least, I will say that I think it is important for us as we proceed through this second year of the biennium that we don't punch a hole in the budget. I know some of my colleagues really want to cut taxes. I understand we're going to have a debate about tax cutting, but I don't want to punch a hole in the budget in such a way that we go back to deficit budgeting, because that's no good for Minnesota.
Senator Hoffman, your thoughts?
Absolutely. One of the things that I think back in 2008, 2009, when I was on the Anoka Hennepin School Board, it was really some lean times for education, and giving 2% last year still doesn't fix the fact of what happened in the cost shifting that occurred, especially the $2.6 billion that was laid onto the school districts. And we paid that back the first year of my first term as a senator, and I'd like to see us add another 1% to that. If there's and again, let's go back to if there's some supplemental money out there, because typically this isn't going to be a finance year, but rather it's going to be the bonding year, the taxes. It's also going to be, the transportation piece, and there's some safety issues there on transportation that I think when I look at my own community in Coon Rapids with Hanson Boulevard, we have a million gallons of crude oil that go through that area, and these trains get staged up to 2 miles, and it blocks our public safety folks from getting to where they need to be. So I'd like to really see some serious discussion and fixes on that, and hopefully that'll happen. And I agree. Early learning is huge. We know the outcomes are there. I was excited. We had a hearing last week when Help Me Grow was presented, and Help Me Grow really is the initiative that gets families the resources, not necessarily services, but resources. And when we look at our preschool programs, we do have the volunteer preschool programs. We need to enhance those even more and create some flexibility, and their districts are asking for that. So it'll be good to see if we get some more money this year to be able to have that conversation again. I'm looking forward to it, and it should be exciting. It's too bad it's only 10 weeks long.
Senator Abeler, your thoughts?
Well, you think when there's a lot of money it's going to be easy, but sometimes it's easier when there's no money because the pressure is off a bit. And so,
actually, we had Senator Moe and the then Republican Speaker of the House, I think it was Steve Swigum in that era, here saying exactly that same thing 20-some-odd years ago. So you're in good company with that pronouncement, I think.
Well, it fits the anniversary year of this whole thing and the kickoff, and here we are. But politics and government is a marathon, and how are you going to make it all work? And I think Representative Murphy mentioned about let's make sure the budget stays maintained. And 2011 and 12 was a very challenging time. That was my time to be a chairman on the health care side. But there's going to be a lot of talk about that, I think, but in a practical sense. And I think that we have to get beyond the politics of where health care has gone and actually talk about how families are. The average family has a deductible of more than $10,000 and a copay of $50 a visit. They don't have insurance anymore. They have a card that doesn't buy them something. How do we wrestle with that? That's something that I think we should talk about. And no one even notices how it's happened, but we've just kind of gotten there. And that's a real issue in Anoka and in my part of the area. People actually want to stay healthy. transportation for sure, and Highway 10 and the train safety right through my district, and the middle class has been pounded. And I hope that some of the ways that we do whatever tax relief can actually affect the middle class, because they are trying to hang on. And the Main Street businesses are really challenged. And the reason we do so well in Minnesota is because those Main Street businesses and the workers and the families are resilient and committed to the success of their families and their towns. And I guess I'm glad to be back and represent them, and I'm excited to be their voice. So I'll quit smiling so much pretty soon. I don't know when.
You forgot MA spend down.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get MA spend down
MA
fixed,
spend
right?
down, yeah.
Representative Dean, your thoughts, priorities, and so forth?
Well, we only have a 10-week session, so it's going to be a very, very short session, and we have a bonding bill, a transportation bill, and a tax bill that are on the table. It's very, very likely that all of those will be completed with what could be a supplemental spending bill or a cut bill, depending on where they look. But we'll probably be looking at the budget in some way, and that people will have different ideas about that. But it's a very, very short session. The Capitol is all pulled apart, so we're going to be meeting in the Capitol without any running water and no toilets. So it will be there will be a new incentive to actually get things done faster. So hopefully that will take root. I've been traveling around talking about healthcare around the state. And I would agree with our now Senator Abler that it is a big deal. Middle-class Minnesota is in a vice. This is a real deal issue, and it's not a new issue, but I think the intensity around it is new, and people are very scared, and their backs are against the wall. And to folks on one side who want to pretend that there's nothing wrong, or folks on the other side who want to stand back and admire the problem, there's very, very little appetite for politics around that or much of anything else. People are pretty fed up and tapped out right now.